Howdy, folks. I want to address something that a troll tried to bring up on my page when they tried doing a gotcha moment after I already answered their question. They brought up an old video of mine where I talked about a story when Uncle Harley and my Uncle Jim met each other in an airport. They were both in the white suit and the black tie, and Uncle Harley told Uncle Jim, "Shave that crap off your face and take that white suit off. There's only one Colonel Harlan Sanders." Now, before I continue to go into this story, let me explain to you. I address this way to honor my family history and legacy. My uncles are dead now. Everybody in my family that dressed this way and had the name Colonel Sanders that dressed this way is gone. All that's left now that is circulating the world and the internet are people not related to my family dressing like this and actually calling themselves Colonel Harlan Sanders. And although I don't approve of that and I can't stop them, that doesn't stop me from upholding the family history, the stories, and clearing the air on some of the misinformation that's out there and representing the Sanders family with pride and dignity. At the beginning of the year, I purchased a black suit and I started changing my look to wear that. I did that to honor the look and to change it up, make it more modern, to fit with Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, which we have now separated and parted ways. There's no reason for me to really dress like that anymore, although I do prefer the black to the white because the black suit matches my hair more than the white suit does. I'll also add that I am not trying to impersonate my uncle. I am not trying to take his name and make it mine. I'm not trying to take his history, his story, and make it my story. I'm not trying to take his success and make it my success. I was tired of all the misinformation spread around, all the lies and rumors that people were spreading around, and I decided to do something about it by representing this family in this way. And if I wasn't commissioned a Kentucky Colonel, then that thought never would have crossed my mind because I wouldn't have been that interested in it. Being commissioned a Kentucky Colonel is what got me interested. Now that that's all out of the way, let's talk about the story when Uncle Harley and Uncle Jim got into it at the airport. Out of respect, Uncle Jim would wear a black suit. Uncle Harley didn't like him dressing like him with the white suit and having people think that he was Colonel Sanders. Because Colonel Harlan Sanders was alive at the time, and there was quite a few people confusing Uncle Jim as the Colonel. The biggest issue with it, though, was Kentucky Fried Chicken was grooming my Uncle Jim to become the next Colonel Sanders to replace Harlan for when Harlan got too old or passed away. Uncle Harley wasn't very fond of that idea. His daughters weren't very fond of that idea. I don't think anybody was really fond of that idea except for Uncle Jim. He had no problem stepping in the spotlight. But when they ran into each other at the airport, it was during that time that Kentucky Fried Chicken was setting up to have Jim take over being the spokesperson for when Uncle Harley couldn't do it anymore. Uncle Harley knew this, and he didn't like it, so he was vocal against it. Uncle Jim was a franchisee in Indiana. He ran a Columbus, Indiana franchise and lived in Seymour, Indiana. Several people that I have talked to on the internet have confused Uncle Jim as the original Colonel because they knew Uncle Jim in Indiana. Uncle Jim also traveled from Canada across the country to other Kentucky Fried Chickens to do promotions. He was fired from the role shortly after Uncle Harley died for cussing out corporation. I don't know what the argument was about, but then he sold his franchise and he died in 1989. The issue wasn't necessarily that Uncle Jim was dressing like him, because Uncle Harley met many people that dressed like him. The issue was the brand was wanting to replace Uncle Harley, and Uncle Harley knew that they wanted to replace him with a more young, energized Colonel Sanders that looked just like him, had the name, had the title, and was related. Uncle Jim would wear a black suit with the black tie, a white handkerchief, or pocket square, whatever you want to call it. And most of the photos I have of Uncle Jim, he's depicted in the black suit, even for Kentucky Fried Chicken. Because after they had some headbutting there about that, he decided to be respectful to his uncle and wear the black suit. As for me, my uncles are dead. Jim is dead. Uncle Harley is dead. And there's no one else in this family representing the family, so I'm representing it, and I decided to dress this way. Do I think Uncle Harley would approve of it? I don't know. I'd like to believe that he would approve of me upholding the history and the stories the way that I am. Defending his legacy and defending Kentucky Fried Chicken's history. All aspects of it. I think he would appreciate and approve of that. The reason why I don't know if he would approve of this or not is because I'm not impersonating him. I'm my own colonel, and I acknowledge that I will never be Colonel Harlan Sanders. But I see whether black suit or white suit, I see this as a great way to honor the legacy and the history and to teach people about it and have something that's more appealing on the internet talking about it than somebody in the t-shirt and shorts. I've always worn suits. I loved wearing suits. It was just 2015 that I started wearing these string ties and the white suit.